ladies and gentlemen, and we are back with part 2 of this series. Probably the last time I'm going to be doing 2 parts because with all of the stuff that goes on in Mortal Kombat 11 with variations and stuff, I think it would be smarter if I just did one character at a time. That's probably going to begin affecting things tomorrow, though. So today's the last day we get to double up. And today, or this time, we're going to be looking at Kitana. However, the thing about Kitana is, I have 0 truly competitive variations of Kitana. I've talked about this before, but she has so many moves that are in... She has so many moves in the custom variation system that she straight up can have 6 different variations if they decide to try and throw in everything in a competitive variation. She literally has 6 variations worth of attacks. It's a little bit bonkers, and she still has some left over. So she has a lot that you have to keep an eye on, but if you're doing custom fights, but for tournament fights, let's talk Kitana. Overall, she has it a little bit rough, mostly because a lot of her moves are dial-ins, which means that she has to commit to them, and if she commits to them, then she's relatively unsafe. So you need to be mindful of certain situations, but we're going to start with the normals that don't go into anything outside of pokes and the uppercut. Let's see here. Don't think she has any, except for like spinning heel. And her hop attacks, wake up attacks, and throws we'll talk about. Spinning heel is a 15 frame high that kind of anti-airs. Just boop them and then you can do stuff to continue combos. But this is not something you're going to throw in the neutral. But you'll throw the opponent back if you kick them. So if you're going to throw this out at any time, you're going to do it in the corner. If you're willing to give up the corner for that. Full slice is a short hop attack. Now there is actually quite a bit of recovery off of this attack, because she does this. She does that pose for whatever reason. But the other thing of note is that it's slow as heck for a short hop attack. Remember, Scarlet's come out in 8 or 9 frames. This comes out in 13, and her kick comes out at the same speed. But the kick is overall the better option because it's active for longer. And she's more able to block. So if you see any Kitana short hopping, expect it to be a kick. On block, remember to do this. Spinning heel is neutral, full slice is -14, and flick kick is -13. Flawless block. The kick is 0, full slice is -19, and flick kick is -18. Yikes. Then there's fanning out, which is one of her 2 wake up attacks. This is her wake up launcher, and it used to be awful. You could almost never touch somebody with this because she would always back up and do it. But the hurt box was so local and over her head that Kitana used to miss this most of the time. Thankfully, I believe in the Joker patch, this was actually, with the Joker, I believe, this was actually made into a half-decent punish, allowing her to combo. And then step back, still has her, well, step back, but not quite as much, so she can still get invincible reversals. And a little bit of distance here. On block, and then remember, on block, fanning out is unsafe and stepping back is safe, so keep that in mind. In fact, we actually go to frame data, which I'll start doing that for this. -20 on block and -9, so it's actually technically unsafe, but because of the distance she gets, not a lot of things that are 9 frames are going to hit her. And then her throws. She has 0 crushing blow throws, which isn't a common thing for most characters. Unfortunately, she has no crushing blow throws, which is a little bit silly, because I could absolutely see that being a crushing blow that does DOT damage, or that just being a crushing blow, but no, Kitana doesn't get that. She doesn't get the luxury that's... She doesn't get the luxury that Scarlet or Scorpion or even Sub-Zero gets to enjoy. In fact, she kind of is in trouble with Shiva because, in the same league as Shiva, because guess what? She doesn't get any of this. Shiva also doesn't have crushing blow throws, which is very strange to me. Now let's talk combo attacks. And I must warn you, she has a lot. She has a lot of these things. Look at this. Look at all of these strings. I tagged 10 of them, and she still has one that I have to tag at a later time. So, let's start with Brutal Judgment. This is our basic string. The second hit is actually a low, so it goes high, mid, low. So it sweeps the opponent, which is interesting. And you have to press down 2 in order to get that to work. As she continues, she becomes less safe, but she never becomes really punishable, where she becomes -6. But on Flawless Block, her jab becomes -4, so there's no Flawless Block gaps in here either, so this is something you can kind of throw out in block to be relatively safe, unless, again, you're dealing with Raijin. No Mercy is a similar string, comes off of a fairly decent mid, and again, knocks the opponent down. The whole thing is mid, so the opponent has to be mindful of that. But there is a Flawless Block gap in there, and even if they don't Flawless Block, we have -4, -5, and -1. So it kind of reverts itself to being plus, but there's a gap in there. So an opponent that has a parry, like let's say Scarlet, here, I'll be Scarlet for this one. Scarlet theoretically should be able to punish this. Okay, so. Okay. Looks like she actually can. But there is a Flawless Block gap in there, which puts her at -11, meaning that I got the full punish that way. Yikes. And like I said, this can also be Flawless Blocked. So, bing, bing, bing. Now you're unsafe. So you're not going to see a whole lot of Katanas throw the string out, but on the off chance that they do, all they're going to get is knockdown. And she's barely plus. She's like +16, if that. Next we have Dark Deception, which you're going to see a lot. And this is the first exclusive crushing blow to Kitana. Because if this counters or punishes, you get throw crushing blow damage. And you can see this a lot as a combo conversion in some variations. Giving her another crushing blow. And then if the opponent tries for, say, a wake-up launcher and you catch them with this, which has good range, then you have another crushing blow. Potentially 65% damage that way, pretty easy. Next we have Edenian Dance, and this is the first of those strings that is not that useful. But before I forget, I always forget to do this. So, kicks are -7, and this is -4. And on Flawless Block, there's no gap. So this is what you're going to see a lot of Katanas do instead. Because it's safe, there's no punishment for it really, and there's no Flawless Block gap outside of the back one. So, it is what it is. But, back to Edenian Dance, which is not great. The only reason why you want to do this thing, if you're even a halfway competent Kitana player, is to do the Brutality Gutted, which means you have to do a 12-hit combo. That's not an easy thing to do for Kitana, even though she has all of these things that... Like, that could be 12 hits, but you have to get the timing just right. So that's the only time you're going to be doing something like this. And it does have a decent knockback, but here's the thing. While these two parts are special cancelable, the spin, the whirligig, is not, which means you gotta commit to this. So, and if you whiff it, you could be in trouble. So, again, I would only ever recommend doing this if they're good enough with your combos. Hold on. Commit. To get a 12-hit combo. That wasn't even 12 hits, that was 11. But again, to get a 12-hit combo in this game without Fatal Blow is quite difficult. But once you land that, at any time if you want to just throw this out willy-nilly and get the Brutality, sure. But on block... First, standing 2, which is a high, is +1. Then you get the mid, that's -7, so just barely safe. And then you have the Whirligig. The first hit, remember there's 4 hits in the spin, and the first hit almost always misses on block, unless, again, I'm just gonna force her into the corner a little bit. Unless they're in the corner, but even then, she's -6, so she's not able to keep her turn. Then there's Flawless Block. There's no gap there. There is no gap there in the corner, but... Oh wait, because the Flawless Block keeps her closer, there is no Flawless Block gap there, even if it misses one. Interesting. That's really good to know. And then there's Noble Assault, which is similar, but does a little more damage. So you can do... that, and especially in the corner, hang on. And get your 12 hits that way for pretty decent damage. And that was meterless too. But here's the thing. Again, it's a dial-up string, so no special cancelables during her flippy dips. And if she blocks the flippy dips, then you're in trouble, because block the flippy dips, and Kitana is -7. So, she is theoretically punishable by faster attacks. And if Flawless blocked, she's still -7. So she's not safe at all when doing either of these. So, be mindful of that. Then we have Follow Me, which comes off of this lovely part where there's 2 dial-ups of different sizes in between. There's a 2-button dial-up in the middle, and then a 3-button dial-up partway through. So this is just a normal mid, 17 frames. Not exactly safe, but hey, it's something. There's a low in there that you can special cancel. The nice thing is that you can special cancel the first bit pretty easily, either after the second fan up raise or during the low. So you get that, or you get that. See what I mean? I had to adjust the timer for that last string to make it land, but the idea is still there. And this has a couple of different enders. And Follow Me is a kick string that will not come out if the first parts of the string whiff. See, I did the input correctly. Watch my button log. Doesn't come out, because you have to hit the opponent, whether on block or otherwise, in order to get this. And if the opponent does block this, Kitana's -7. And if the opponent flawless blocks it, still -7. But hang on, remember, there's no gap. So that's like, I'm always surprised that with the kick strings there's no gap. But then you have Dark Empress, which features an overhead. The crushing blow for this is a little bit bonkers, but here, we'll do stance hold and have the opponent duck. Because the only way you're going to get this to land is if the overhead hits raw. You get some damage over time, and that's basically about it. But remember, follow me is all high attacks. So the opponent will crouch to just stop this because the opponent will do something like this. I have to do adaptive stuff, so. Oh, and also you can do 4-3-4 in order to make it work, by the way. Look at that. Neutral duck in order to get this. Look at that. Sad stuff. So the string you gotta watch out for because all the kicks are high. But conversely, if the opponent thinks, oh, I'm just gonna crouch block. If I'm just gonna crouch block this and then try to release duck in order to get that, guess what? They get tagged by that. But most opponents are not that. Most opponents are cleverer than that. And there's a flawless block gap in there that leaves her -17, and it doesn't even need to be a flawless block. Watch this. -7. So she's unsafe when she does that, and if she goes for any of her slower normals, she's in big trouble. Let's get Scarlet to stop ducking there for a second. There we go. Then we have Leave Now, which is another one of those fan attacks that whirls quickly. This can do some decent knockback on block and okay damage, but remember, on block, it's not going to be safe. She's -7, and at no point can she cancel out of it. She can't cancel into fan throw. She can't cancel into whatever she wants. No, she can't. So she's stuck doing this. But then there's Follow the Leader. Oh, by the way, I want to double check with flawless block. I don't think that. Yeah, there's no flawless block gap in there. At least, unlike certain dial-in strings, the follow-up does come out. So what you can do is if the opponent is blocking and you see they're at low enough health where chip could kill them, but they have full bar, if you're willing to risk the biscuit, go for your mids, because you'll chip them out that way. That's basically the main use for Leave Now. Whereas Follow the Leader is a dial-up string that is cancelable. You saw me use this to end a lot of my combos because I can end it in throat slice instead of the overhead. And this has a crushing blow. If the overhead is the only one that hits, and because unlike Dark Empress, where the down 2 follow-up will not come out on whiff, this can be used as a whiff punish, or if the opponent is just blocking and doesn't expect the overhead. So you can do stuff like this. Follow. And get a combo that way. At least theoretically, because I'm not that great with Kitana, if I gotta be honest. Oh, maybe in the corner it would work a little bit better, but you get my meaning. That's what you would use Follow the Leader for, is that you use it as a combo extender. And continue your combos that way. Punishment comes off of this kick string here. And I don't see a lot of katanas use this one, even though it looks like it would be a half-decent push string, because it's not special cancelable at the end, and if I were to block this... Oh yeah. Let's block this string first. If the opponent actually blocks it, it's -7. And if the opponent blocks punishment, it's also -7. But the push is -6. But there's no real challenge to this. You don't really get a challenge off of this. And even though these are all mids, you can just wait until maybe she goes for that high again, and then you can counter crushing blow punish or what have you. And on flawless block, there's a gap. There is a flawless block gap to hit the overhead, but it's still -7. And there's no flawless block gap in punishment. Now let's talk about special moves, and that means it's time for us to move over to a competitive variation. Let's start with fanfare. Let's see, universal special moves. Thing, 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 and that's about it. So, her universal specials include Fan Toss, which is a projectile. And and the second one, I believe, is actually a mid. Yeah, it's actually a mid, but here's the thing. It's been a little while, so some people may not remember, but this used to start combos way back in the day, and has been a combo extender, particularly the air version, since Mortal Kombat 9. But in this game, you don't get combos anymore unless you're in the corner. And even then, why the hell would your opponent be jumping other than to maybe get out of the corner? So let's re-record that. Let's say they try to jump out of the corner. What are you going to follow up with? Nothing Kitana has is going to reach. Her uppercut's not going to reach. Her standing one's not going to reach. Hell, her down one's not going to reach. And that's... Oh, what is her fastest... Yeah, her down three's not going to reach. And that's her fastest button. It's 7 frames. So you're not going to get combos this way. And the second fan will miss unless the opponent is close to the ground anyway. So this was the first sign that things were going to go bad for Kitana. She's not going to get combos off of her fans. What is happening? What happened to Mortal Kombat 11? Well, a lot, but we're not there yet. Air Fan Toss, you might think, then, is a good alternative. You launch the opponent, meet them in the air, and you might get a combo, right? Not without meter, you're not, because on Amplify, she can drop down. This is kind of like a Cabal Buzzsaw in one variation. But, again, you have to spend meter to combo with fans, and this is Kitana. This is Kitana we're talking about here. The fact that this is even a thing, a design philosophy that they had to go with is a little bit ugh. But then we have Fan Lift, which used to be awful. This scaled more than any other move at one point. Like, if you just got this raw into uppercut, you were doing 130 damage. You were doing less damage than a raw uppercut. But then they fixed the scaling, and now you're doing almost 150, so 15%. It's not much better, but hey, it puts it in line with other meterless launchers, so you can do stuff like this. And then you can actually get combos that way. Okay, minus that random crushing blow bit there. You can still get combos. Look at that. You can potentially get combos. Look at that. See? And combos that do half respectable damage. Maybe if I did a poke into it, but still. That's really nice. Then there's quick execution. It's a high, so you can neutral duck this thing. Oh, one other thing I forgot to mention. These are just normal projectiles, by the way, on block. It's not a big deal. At this range, it's -10. Go further back. It's +6. At close range, it's -17. And then fan lift is very minus. It's -18. So don't throw this out willy-nilly. And quick execution on block is -17 as well. So even if you did end up blocking it by mistake, well, you're not going to miss out on much. But if you neutral duck quick execution, you get the uppercut punish. So you can defending against this is not bad. Where it gets dangerous though is that it has a crushing blow, but its requirement is kind of bonkers. You have to use this to end a combo that was 8 hits or greater. So there. That's the minimum that you have to do in order to get this to end. So if only that connected. Maybe 4-2 would. Let's try that. Okay, I guess you don't get quick execution off that, but still, land a hit of it. 8 hits or more, bam! You get a crushing blow. Next we have Square Wave, and this is Kitana's armor breaking attack. In 2 of her 3 variations, she uses this to break armor, and this has a crushing blow. It either breaks armor, or if you counter or punish an attack from full range, from maximum range, which is, I believe, about here. It's a little bit tricky to get the full range ones, like Robocop's, but there you go. That's basically what it is. And then you can even amplify it to get a little more damage. But you can't amplify the Crushing Blow version. Not that you would need to. 250 damage is nothing to shake a stick at. Then we have the Variation 1 attacks. We have Fan Flutter, Air Fan Flutter. She can use this to pick in and jump in, and then you do whatever she wants afterwards. She can jump in, or she can do double jump ins if your timing is right. However, while that's 40% without the Fan Flutter, you're only getting like 1% more damage. So if that's worth it, that's up to you. But you have to be really good with that execution. Just keep that in mind. Then we have Square Wave on the ground. We have Ground War, which this also works on Identity Twist, but in competitive, it only works in this variation with Square Wave. It's the same Square Wave as you've done in the air. Same Crushing Blow and everything. And I do mean the same Crushing Blow. Wow. And you can even get the same Amplify for a little extra damage. And remember, this breaks armor. So, if I get Scarlet to just break away fast after an uppercut punish, look at that damage. Oh, I almost forgot to mention, with Fan Rays, the opponent can't break away from this. They used to be able to, but you can do stuff like this now. Get this set up, jump in, and look at that juicy damage. Look at that yummy, yummy damage. Good times all around. And then there's Royal Protection, which is an interesting little move. This attack is a projectile parry that buffs her fan's damage. So that's 50 damage. Now it's 10% stronger. Now it's 20% stronger. Now it's 33% stronger. And now it's 50% stronger. So it's kind of like Kotal Khan's Ascension grabs in a sense. Now look at the damage you're getting. 51% on Scarlet. Youch. That is a lot of damage. But remember, these things go away on a Crushing Blow, so The buff goes away on crushing blow, so be wary of that. And that's Fanfare in a nutshell. This is actually one of my favorite variations of Kitana because it's pretty traditional and it has anti-zoning potential. And by the way, because it makes your fans stronger, it means you can zone better with them too. Look at this. So now I can move in. Yep, cash in my 51%. And then supposing that, oh, maybe they decided that wasn't good enough and they have defensive meter, now they're going to try and break away. No. Shut that shit down. Shut that shite down. And before we go to the next variation, I need to do this, because I didn't talk about it before. Square wave is minus 23. Okay, pushback, but minus 23 is still punishable by just about everything. And it's even minus 27 if done in the air. So don't throw this out willy-nilly. Time for variation 2. Highborn. And this is one of those variations that a lot of people are never that keen on seeing. Whether it's because they like a certain character, or they like Kitana, or they really don't like this variation. First off, let's talk about the fact that there's no upraise. You have Edenian Razors instead. And the scary thing about Edenian Razors is that it's active for a really long time. So if I were to hit Scarlet this way, just have her walk forward, then walk forward. I can still hold this pose if they're all gone, but I can let go of it and be plus. And what if the opponent wants to block this? Because, you know, that's the smart thing to do. Well, I'm minus 9. And you gotta be careful because I can still keep this going and you might not be able to punish me, even though I'm like technically minus 101. But if I land all 3, look at that, I'm safe. And I can make myself even safer. Minus 5. So, now I'm really safe at minus 1. Now I'm minus 5, and look at all the chip damage. That's what makes this move scary, is that you get a lot of chip damage, and you're never really sure what is punishable. So, you're never really sure if I'm minus 5, minus 1, or if I fucked up the input and am, say, minus 11. Here I'm minus 4, but again, that is the idea. So Edenian Razors is really scary on block, and there is no cooldown. Look, I was 0 that time. I fucked that up, so I got the string. Okay, how about this? How about... There we go. Look, I'm minus 9 now. Now I'm minus 5. Or, I can just stand back here and wait for you to be dumb enough to release block and try and hurt me with an attack that has a hurt box. So that is half of the reason why people hate this variation. The other half is right here. Half-blood stance. Sorry, that was genuine. I had to laugh there, I'm sorry. Melina fans, don't get mad at me. We have to talk about this variation here. So, half-blood stance. Melina Sai comes out. Can be cancelled for bar to keep herself safe. And she has a bunch of options out of it. She has dive kick, which, as you can see, is a traditional dive kick. Tracks the opponent and beats zoning. And she can actually amplify the dive kick. So She could throw out a fan for if she catches a jumping opponent. And remember, and because this is the same as the air fan toss, she can amplify it twice. She can amplify the dive kick to do this. And then drop down and get a combo started from a dive kick. I've never seen this happen, but it is possible. Then there's Seeking Side. A very slow but tracking projectile that hits mid and can be hit. It can also go mid or far if the opponent thinks to get clever and dodge out of the way. Think Queen Shiva's Stomp before Shiva was even a concept. Then we have Gutted. This is your ender out of this stance. So instead of upraise, you use this. And you might think, well, I don't get an actual combo out of it. If you've landed 3 Seeking Sides during the match, you will. Because guess what? I can actually get the string to come out. Thank you. Like I said. There we go. Supposing you landed 3 of those sides, look at that. Look at that. You see that? That was a crushing blow launcher. And if I were really cheeky, and now we're fast enough. How about... Come on. This has to work. This has to work. Come on. Or does it? Does it not work? I don't think it works. No, it doesn't. I thought you could double up on the crushing blows, but I guess you can't. Unless maybe it's this. Oh, maybe. Sorry for the experimentation here, but it's worth trying. But this is a perfect example of what you should be doing in the lab. You get an idea, hammer it out until you're comfortable it either works or doesn't. And it does theoretically work, meaning I could theoretically get a gutted out, get a throat slice crushing blow. Ouch. But that's about it. Oh, also, this comes out of short hop as well. But that's neither here nor there. Let's move on to Variation 3, Fearless. I'm going to do Lady Sanguina for this one. Oh, actually, before I do that, I gotta get the opponent to block stuff. Because I haven't done any of the half-blood cancels. Or any of the half-blood things. There we go, dive kick is minus 21. Seeking Sai is plus 23. Meaning that this is basically a frame trap. But then again, if you're this close to Kitana and you don't punish her for trying this, what are you doing? Here's the thing. Until the actual startup frames start, which again is in 46 frames, basically when the Sai teleports, until the Sai teleports, Kitana can be interrupted out of this. So it's a risky play. And then Gutted is minus 7, so it's unsafe. So you need to be careful with that. And on Flawless Block, Gutted is still minus 7. Seeking Sai is still minus 23, and Dive Kick is minus 21 still, so nothing really changes there. Although, you can beat Flawless Block this way too. Because unless they go for an Invincible, then they're trapped. If they try to launch you out of it, then, well, guess what? You're gonna still smack them with the fans. Now we can move on to Variation 3, which is Fearless, because it's about damn time we did that. Oh yeah, this is another one of those variations I dig. Alright, so low fan toss. Wait, why is she in player 2 colors? Oh, I must have said player 2 colors and not have been aware. Anyhow, low fan toss, true low projectile. infinitely superior to high Phantoms because it's a high, and this is a low. And you might be thinking, well, what about the double projectile shenanigans? I'll give you that. But how about a mid that knocks down with different ranges? You have amplify or step forward amplify. So you have that or that. And the thing is that while it's not a true overhead, you would be amazed how often I catch people with low Phantoms after this particular string. Because guess what? They'll be expecting the overhead, and all of a sudden they get clipped with the low. And if they're expecting the low, ouch. And if they're expecting one of those options, I can hit them with the mid in order to catch them completely off guard. However, it is still a projectile, so it's unsafe at close range. And there is a bit of a gap in there, I believe flawless blockable, but it's -3 on block, so it's pretty safe. So if we flawless block, yeah, it is flawless blockable. And if it's flawless blocked, it's -13. So careful with that. Then we have Fanado. Oh, Murgatroyd Fanado. There we go. It hit there, but it won't hit from back here because the tornado's active frames wear out. But here's the thing. Here's the thing about Fanado that I don't like. Remember how I was able to get up raise pretty consistently off of this? Well, it resets the combo, meaning you can block it partway through. You can't really combo off of anything here, I don't think. Yeah, except for the back one extension. So there is an option. But a lot of your options get full-blown reduced, so you need to be mindful of that. And then there's the Denian Twist, which replaces the square wave. Oh, also, in case you're wondering, because it's technically a projectile, you can be plus if they block this, but at close range, as always, -15, so extreme caution there. Then there's the Denian Twist. A leaping attack that kind of reminds me of the start of her MKX X-Ray. And this has 2 crushing blow requirements, and had them since the Joker balance patch that just after Joker came out, where people were able to do fatal blow and then do a forward throw. Kitana actually had something similar for the longest time, but then that got removed alongside Joker's shenanigans. The first requirement is is your fatal blow has to be on cooldown, and it becomes a launcher. But here's the thing: if your fatal blow is on cooldown, you can do stuff like this. Here, let me try this. You were able to do stuff like this. I'm just gonna set her to be fatal blow range and turn off easy pressure blows. Whip the fatal blow, and then yes, get that crushing blow, and then the fatal blow would come back eventually. But here's the thing: if you were really cheeky, you could do something like this. And this is actually the very first Kitana Fatal Blow combo I used to do, way back when I was doing competitive combos. And I'll still do them if we ever get more characters. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Shit. I think I had a different input there as well, because 3, 4... And then I can potentially catch them with a fatal blow afterwards. If I wait 4 seconds and then go for... hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I could actually catch them with Fatal Blow, potentially. Granted, the combo damage wasn't that great, but again, wait 4 or 5 seconds, then go for a combo. And it'd be really nice if I could get back 2 to come out consistently on this controller, but that's neither here nor there. Oh, that's right, because that doesn't come out that way. Okay. Damn it! I forgot what the input was for a second. So here's how I do it. Here's a good way to test it. Just do this, throw out a Fanado, and then wait for her to hit the ground, then. Aw, oh, come on! There it is! And then you could get Fatal Blow afterwards. I'm gonna keep going until I get this. I don't care. Look at that. Bada bing, bada boom. Fatal Blow combo with the crushing blow that required the Fatal Blow be on cooldown for very bad damage. 42% after all of that just seems like a kick to the nads. But, I mean, that's why, if you ever landed a Fatal Blow and were suddenly locked out of that crushing blow, there was actually a second requirement that was added because Joker got it too, because Joker didn't get this. If you landed a Fatal Blow, he didn't get this, but to, I guess, make Kitana the better out of it, there's a second crushing blow requirement. This has to counter or punish a low or ducking attack. So if this counters an uppercut or a standing 4, or a sweep from Scarlet, you see it coming, you jump, this, you get a crushing blow. And then, of course, it's the same crushing blow, so it has the same effect. Of allowing you to do stuff, but at the same time, if you mess up, you get punished. So it's not free, but at least having that second requirement is always good for Eat Any and Twist. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about Fatal Blow, but we've already seen it, so we're gonna just do it raw, and that's about it. Fatal Blow comes out in 21 frames and is a mid. It has just under start of the match range and does pretty good damage in and of itself. But on whiff, it's minus 33. On block, which I'm also going to have to do for Eat Any and Twist. Any and Twist is minus 17 on block. The Fatal Blow is minus 23, but look at all that pushback, especially if you hit them from maximum range. What is 23 frames that is going to punish you from here? I don't think there's anything that does that. So while it is minus on block, she's still safe. So yeah, so that's just something to keep in mind. Hopefully this Kitana guide helps you become a fan of this woman. So if you have any other Kitana tips at all, and that goes for any character I cover, please let me know and share. I love hearing other tips. Don't forget to be awesome, and I'll see you guys on the other side.